invited to take part because he was leading the 600cc Superstock Championship over in Australia. He got pole position, he won the race, even though it was his first in the UK, and he'd only had one practice round at the circuit, so that led to him coming over and doing the Virgin Mobile Cup in 2005. He won it, and unfortunately he got launched straight as a present, into British Superbikes, where he had a rather erratic time.
He did, erratic. He did have his moments where it was really quick. I remember that year him leading a race at Brands Hatch. He just kind of spitted with rain, and he led it and then crashed going on the bottom straight. But definitely a quality rider is Billy, and don't want to do him any disservice, but he really never fulfilled the potential he had through a lot of reasons. You know, he's made a couple of mistakes, we've known that, but also he's had injuries at the wrong time, things that weren't his fault either. You know, he's a good rider, Billy, and one of the most popular characters in the paddock, let's say. Likes a party.
And he starts once again on pole position after that clear win in the first race, ahead of Josh Elliott and Keith Farmer. And then we've got plenty of champions here, of course. McConnell, a former Supersport champ. Josh Elliott, a former National Superstock champion. Farmer, champion of both. Joe Collier, the Ducati champion, heads up the second row, ahead of former National Superstock and Supersport champion Alistair Seeley. And then Chrissy Rouse, the first rider on the grid without a championship to his name so far. Behind them we've got Dan Neen, who really impressed us with his performance there as he's warming up for the road season, ahead of Fraser Rogers and Michael Rutter. Luke Hedger in 10th place, ahead of Jordan Gilbert and Leon Geacock. So Billy McConnell, talk about motorcycling being in your blood, and I know it is with quite a lot of these families, but his dad Charlie was Race Speedway for 20 years in Australia, and then actually Billy's father Kim came over to ride Speedway in the United Kingdom, rode for Workington up in the northwest, and he still comes over and supports Billy for a couple of months every year over here in the UK, where Billy of course is very much settled, although originally an Adelaide man. He's done a lot of test riding and development riding for Triumph Road Bikes, hasn't he? Because he lives around the Higgley area.
Yeah, not only test riding, using his sort of racetrack skills, but also they use him for he'd do anything. He'd run bikes in on the road, test them on the road, you know. And I was once at a service station on, I think the M6, freezing cold, middle of January. I'm in my car, I didn't want to get out of the car to fill it with fuel, and there's a kid filling a motorbike up. He's all dressed up, the plumbing winter gear on. It was Billy running. He had to put 1,000 miles on a Triumph before it went out to some launch abroad, and he said it's cold. You don't want to be doing it. But yeah, he's put the hours in.
So McConnell, I was surprised at what a relatively devastating victory that was, given the quality of the field and the quality of his immediate opposition.
Yeah, before the weekend he'd have said that, but after qualifying he'd have said he probably was going to do that at one point, and that was good conditions, or for the temperature in qualifying. He was 1.2 seconds quicker than everybody else. That's a lot, especially in this class.
So the 13-lap second race. Remember, this is where there's extra points available, because the winner of this second stretch of the race gets 12.5 points plus 5 points for being the winner. The second place man gets an extra 3 points on top of his 10, and the third place finisher gets an extra 1 point on top of his 8. So we end up with lots of half points. It becomes a very complex championship table by the end of the season, especially for a mathematical imbecile like myself. Number 3, I can read that much. Billy McConnell is on pole position ahead of Josh Elliott. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Billy McConnell can... Well, actually, Josh Elliott did take it to the Suzuki for a while, kind of 2/3 of the way through the first race. Let's see if he can do it again, perhaps go one stage better. And good start from Billy. Good start from Collier as well on the inside of the... I beg your pardon, for Keith Farmer, but Farmer gets swallowed up on the way into the first turn.
Yeah, good start from Elliott as well.
And Josh Elliott gets the better of McConnell and might actually grab the advantage as they go down. When he does, he just makes sure that he has the upper hand as they drop through Hollywood down the Craner curves towards the old hairpin.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a massive problem down there this time, just because most of them stay with the same front tyre, so that'll be all nicely bedded in now.
I thought that was Dan Neen who leapt through past Keith Farmer on the second of the Tyco BMWs. It's Neen running in third place, getting in a lightning start again, ahead of Farmer in fourth. there are some regulars in this class. Oh, Alex Olsen's made a horrible start down in 25th place, but he did at least manage to make it. What he did was make sure he finished, even though way downfield, so that he could get out in the second race, despite problems towards the end of that first encounter. It's noticeable that down in 28th place, James, is Bournemouth Kawasaki's very own James Hillier, also warming up for the Rose.
Yeah, for his Rose campaign. Yeah, said we're finding it a little bit of a culture shock. Just stick his neck out around on it.
Keith Farmer keen to find a way past inside it. Oh, and a big moment there for Chrissy Rouse. The back end came round, stood him up good and proper, but he survived. And I think that might have been the little figure of Alistair Seeley just stealing through in front of him. Yes, he does. And so too does Michael Rutter. Oh, and someone's come down as they came.
Oh, he's got away with that.
Miraculously, everybody avoided the furious figure. And I think that might be Sam Clark. I think that might be the other Morello Racing Kawasaki of the Australian Sam Clark. He did well to be avoided there, or they did well to avoid
it. The back going, let's have a look. Middle of shot now, yeah. I tell you what, that nearly kept going round and just sort of unloaded him gently, but then flicked him at the last minute. All was worse. Yeah, heavy one. And looking not to get clobbered as well.
Good avoidance by Tom Ward, the Canterbury boy on the Mizuno Wholesale Racing Suzuki. Managed to just turn inside the flailing body there. So here we have Josh Elliott then setting the pace. And that means that rather than Billy McConnell escaping at the front, we've got a bit of a bottleneck at the front with the two Tyco BMWs right in there as well, and looking for possible overtaking manoeuvres. Here's Farmer neatly inside his teammate Dan Neen, because he'd like to set his sights on the front too.
Yeah, I think Billy's must be looking at trying to get past and get away, because I think he's got the pace to do it.
Dan Neen, you were reminding me, James, he used to be quite a lively young Superstock 600 rider, so he's got some short-circuit pedigree, which obviously hasn't deserted him with a lifetime of roads.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the best in that championship in his first 2 years racing in Britain. And like you said, lively, young, very brave.
So as they cross the line then with the front five just broken clear of it. Fraser Rogers it is in 5th place, 6th for Seeley, 7th Rutter, Chrissy Rouse in 8th, Joe Collier down in 9th, Jordan Gilbert, who a former teammate of his with Haribo Star Mix Triumph in Superstock 6, is down there in 10th, with Hedger 11th, Lee Jackson in 12th. Lee Jackson's the surprise package to be struggling, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done this class before, and like you say, he's a Rossum finisher in British Superbike only last year, and was never sort of out of the top. He was never not good in it, was he? He was always reasonably good in it.
So Jackson then with work to do. Meanwhile, Josh Elliott holding off at the moment, the Suzuki. Kawasaki had an awful lot of rippling going on at the front end then as he went across. There's Christian Itten watching what's going on. He's been declared fit, incidentally, after having taken a big tumble at Craner Curves, one of many during the course of BSB qualifying.
I don't know how fit his bike's going to be just yet. As Billy sneaks up the inside, gets a really good drag out of the S's.
That was a wide line from Elliott, and it gave Billy the opportunity to do this. Just squeeze inside and grab the lead into the Melbourne hairpin. And we've got a problem for would you believe it, it's that gentleman I mentioned, it's Daley Matheson from Stockton-on-Tees on the Jackson Racing with Eddie Stobart BMW, and it's he's got a problem. What a shame. Nice outfit, nice kit.
Nice kit as well. And another lad who's more of a road race, he's going more the road race route.
And already you can see that Billy's trying to squeeze the advantage, and he's pulled the gap on the two Tyco BMWs. So Australia leads Northern Ireland ×2, and then the Isle of Man, and then there's Fraser Rogers. Alistair Seeley makes it 3 Ulstermen in the top 6.
Yeah, it's funny how Northern Ireland punches above its weight as far as racing goes. Unreal.
And then as they come steaming out of the fast left-hander down through the dip, and then a massive double apex left-hander at Coppice, which they take at about 80 miles an hour, and then it's up to 170 plus on the drop down towards the Foggy S's, which they flick through at a handy 65-70 miles per hour. And then they actually get up to way over 150 before they hit the anchors over the top of the hill. And this is into the slowest point of the course, the 35-mile-an-hour right-hander at the Melbourne hairpin.
Billy a bit wide there, lost a little bit of time.
Alistair Seeley is just creeping up towards Fraser Rogers, so the little guy on the green and yellow motorcycle just beginning to get the moment there. Little bite back from the Morello Kawasaki just took the edge off his run into the line for Josh Elliott. That's the fastest lap of the race, 1:31.71 for Billy McConnell. Elliott might have just about matched that. He did a 1:31.8 despite being nearly hoyed out there of his seat. There's Alistair Seeley now closing the gap on Fraser Rogers. This is about 6'2" playing 5'4".
Yeah, Seeley's a little fella, isn't it?
Yeah. He doesn't do boxing training anymore, he was telling me, so he doesn't need that. He just goes down the gym. And of course, he rides particularly motocross. He goes out with his little lad riding motocross.
He's very good.
So Seeley tucking in now right behind Fraser Rogers. I suppose if you've got a big lad in front of you, you're going to get plenty of draft. Talking about big lads, Dan Neame looks fairly big fella, doesn't he?
He is. No, he's tall lad, is Dan. Yeah, he is.
Fascinating this, because he's sitting right there with Keith Farmer. We know how good Farmer is at this stuff. So Alistair Seeley, I think, has made a move through on retaliation from Fraser Rogers on the drop down to the Melbourne hairpin. And Seeley's got to give best.
I'd not be up with that though. That was a proper block pass with that.
Yeah,
that slowed the both of them down mid-corner.
Coming back up the hill, I thought Alistair had got the drive there to get him seek immediate revenge. Rogers tries to hold on around the outside. Seeley has the drive. And heading down towards Redgate, Seeley holds the advantage on the Stout Connect Academy BMW. Fraser Rogers on the Mission Racing BM, so they're going to be fairly evenly matched. And the battle is now developing for those rostrum places. 3 bikes in contention. The Kawasaki there, the blue and white even Kawasaki, Josh Elliott. There's Richard Cooper, who of course was riding that Bill-based Suzuki so successfully last year. Finished eventually runner-up in the National Superstock Championship.
Yeah, but also really good mates with Billy McConnell.
Yeah. Michael Rutter through there, number 4, has made his way through into 7th place ahead of Chrissy Rouse. Joel Collier in 9th, Jordan Gilbert. I'm really impressed with Jordan Gilbert in the way that he's stepped up into this class.
Yeah, me too.
From being a cheerful second. Of course, he's not riding for Mission Racing anymore, so we won't hear his wonderful take-offs of Steve Brogan. We're on the 6th lap of 13.
Farmer slotting up the inside of Jossie Elliott there. Clean move. I mean, typical Farmer, sideways completely, but actually getting it stopped to the corner. Exciting riding style. And it's all from his super motard experience, which is a lot.
The remarkable thing about Farmer is how fast he was successful when he hit the rolls.
Yeah,
you know, other than being supermoto.
Yeah.
Because he kind of just went into kind of clubman short circuit racing on a 2-year-old standard road bike, really, and then moved to national short circuits with a bit of success. And then 2011, when he did a full season with us, he was a Stock 6 champion.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So we're on to the 7th lap of 13, just beyond half race distance, and 1.5 second lead now for Billy McConnell and the Suzuki, looking for that double race victory, which of course Danny Buchan achieved for the Kawasaki team just 12 months ago. Now, I'm just wondering if Farmer with clear track ahead of him might have anything in the closet there to make a move on McConnell.
Yeah. I think he probably would. The last couple of laps have been identical to McConnell's. We'll see.
Specks of rain there at the 40S's. Well, you know that Keith won't mind that. Look at him drifting down there. Here comes Neen as well. Neen decided he can make a move on Elliott, and he forces the Ulsterman well wide. So Dan Neen moves his Tyco BMW through into third place. Neen should do more of this.
He should.
Enjoying this.
I've told him. I've actually said that. I said you should be doing more of this stuff. You're a really good short circuit man. I think exactly the same about Lee Johnston. Really good short circuit man if you wish to go that way.
Yeah. That was Jules Elliott there giving his son the board, and as Dan goes very wide on the entrance to Redgate, and that gives, I suppose if it's your dad urging you on, especially, but is he too wide? No, he brings it back and just closes the door a bit down through Hollywood.
Last lap was a quicker lap for McConnell. I don't think Farmer is able to do anything about him.
Yeah, McConnell did his fastest lap of the race. He seems to be able to just turn the tap on a little stronger whenever someone's threatening. What a comfortable position to be in.
Yeah. I didn't have it too often, but I do remember it.
Josh Elliott, who won the championship, of course, in 2015, riding bike number 10. Had a second place here at Donington Park, and moved very consistent first and second places throughout that season, really, with a single last lap crash to mess up his championship season. So there's Elliott, there's Neen dropping down, there's Seeley trying to bridge the gap to them ahead of Fraser Rogers. Here comes number 4, Michael Rutter, and right behind him Chrissy Rouse and Joe Collier on the surviving Aprilia. Michael Rutter, who on a beautiful gold and black BMW.
Now Farmer has the fastest after the race at 31.6, and that's some 3/10 quicker than McConnell.
Well, it was, yes, it was, wasn't it? Now the gap's just down to one. It's down to 3 thousandths underneath a second and a half. So who knows? It just could be something in this. We're on the 9th lap of 13. And we know that Keith Farmer will be wanting to make inroads into this. If you can see that gap coming down,
he's not going to give up.
Alistair Seeley's last time was a 132.2 against a 133 for Dan Neen. So he's closing that gap as we watch. What a remarkable contrast in styles. Chrissy Rouse, the busy, aggressive Chrissy Rouse, and the super cool number 4, Michael Rutter. And then right behind them, Joe Collier. This is a great three-way fight. Fraser Rogers is going to get sucked into this. The lads seem to be drawing themselves ever closer. So the veteran Michael Rutter. And and he just gets
shoved aside by Chrissy Rouse.
Ruthlessly shoved aside by Chrissy Rouse, and I think he loses out as well to Joe Collier up the hill. What's the date today, James? It's the 1st of April, so in a very short time, at the moment 45 years old, he'll turn 46 on the 18th of April.
But that Michael Rutter?
Yeah.
Is that all he is?
I don't. Well, that's his racing age, James. I mean, you guys do have modifications to your age in your birth certificate sometimes when you're out there on track. There's McConnell. There's the second place man. There's third place Elliott trying to get away from Neen, and all the time the two of them being just inched up on by number 43, that green and yellow Stav Connect bike of Alistair Seeley. 10th lap of 13, no, he may run out of time. Seeley did his fastest lap of the race on the last lap of 131.8, so he took another 4/10 of a second out of Dan Neen.
Yeah, Farmer definitely running out of time. His last lap was a fair chunk slower than half a second slower than McConnell. I think you just see McConnell controlling this, looking at his signal board and just keeping everything under control going when he has to do.
And Fraser Rogers there has fallen foul of Chrissy Rouse. The Geordies stormed through into 6th place, and Joe Collier's looking to do the same as they drop down the hill. Fraser drops a long leg to try and discourage any move.
Yeah, that's Chrissy Rouse's old bike. He's just overtaken, actually.
I was going to say, is that exactly the same bike as Chrissy was riding last year?
Yeah.
It's probably it's probably suffering a bit. Probably one careless owner.
No, It turns a good bike out, actually. Does Russ at Mission.
I know, but I was just thinking of the treatment that Chrissy doled out to him last year.
Yeah, it did. Sort of a bit of action, didn't it?
It did. And that was just a glance over his shoulder there from Dan. Oh, we've got a faller. Number 9, Ben Luxton, Stockport's Ben Luxton on the OMG Racing, so they and the red flag's gone out. That's the teammate of Gino Rea, who's riding, of course, in British Superbikes this year. Ben Luxton on beautiful outfit, but and unmarked apparently. So the red flag's out. We don't know why. And apparently there's a bit of a kind of misty rain about around McLean's at the far end of the circuit. That's the right-hander, right at the top of the hill in the distance there, to the left behind the trees. So Billy McConnell then has done the double. Keith Farmer finishes in second place, comes up and congratulates him. Josh Elliott holds that third place. Dan Neen does get fourth place, an excellent ride ahead of Alistair Seeley. Chrissy Rouse and Joe Collier just take 2 places off Fraser Rogers on what turns out to be the final lap, with Michael Rutter 9th, Jordan Gilbert in 10th. The rest of the point scorers: Ben Godfrey, Luke Hedger, Leon Geacock, Alex Olsen and Lee Bob Jackson just ahead of Tom Ward. So McConnell starts off in the best possible way.
Yeah.
And after build-based Suzuki came so very close last year, it could be that this could be their season in the National Superstock 1000 Championship. So the rides of the and plenty of look at that, the FS3 boys for whom Billy McConnell had such a turbulent season last year, part season in fact, after his injuries. Congratulate Skippy on a splendid return to the track. Of course his build-based Suzuki gang very well happy with that.
I told you you're a popular lad, you know. That's all the other. I think that's Jay Dixon going up to say well done. And Glenn Richards, that's Billy's old mate from Adelaide.
Yes.
Families know each other.
That's right, and of course they both tested triumphs a lot together. Number 55 also congratulate him, Leon Geacock from Kirby Mallory on the George Davis and Smirk Racing Suzuki. So one Suzuki to another. Josh Elliott, good day for Josh Elliott, and the former champion starts off with a couple of good results. Oh, that's why Joshy wears his helmet so high, because he can fit a plastic bottle underneath the chin guard. Actually, he's just thrown the plastic bottle away, which is slightly naughty. Just, I think you should pick that up, young man. Third place for Keith Farmer. So
second, Keith, no?
Second, sorry, Keith Farmer, beg your pardon. So that's a good result for Tyco BMW, second and fourth. Neen putting in a good performance. You'd think that Philip Neen might say, Dan, do you fancy a bit more of this during the course of the year?
Yeah, buddy. Nice work.
So let's check out the results and the second of the races. 2 half races, how would you count it? The Pirelli National Superstock 1000cc Championship. Billy McConnell wins it for build-based Suzuki ahead of Keith Farmer's Tyco BMW. Josh Elliott, Morello Kawasaki in third. Dan Neen, Tyco BMW in fourth. Alistair Seeley fifth, and Chrissy Rouse in 6th place. 7th for the leading Aprilia of Joe Collier ahead of Fraser Rogers, Michael Rutter and Jordan Gilbert. 11th place for Ben Godfrey. 12th is Luke Hedger on a BMW ahead of Leon Geacock Suzuki. Alex Olsen in 14th place, and the final point scorer Lee Jackson, with a lot of work to do on his FS3 Kawasaki. He finishes 15th ahead of Tom Ward, Matt Truelove, Paul McClung, Tom Tunstall, the Huddersfield man on his BMW, and Jordan Rushby. So the championship standings would look rather like this. My maths would be defeated trying to add it up in my head. It's surprisingly rounded, really. 30 points for Billy McConnell, 21 for Keith Farmer, 19 for Josh Elliott, 11 apiece for Joe Collier, Alistair Seeley and Dan Neen, 10 for Chrissy Rouse, 8th place Fraser Rogers on 8 ahead of Michael Rutter on 7 and Jordan Gilbert on 5.5.